Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So tonight, we're going to start off with a story. When I was about 20, went over to my buddy's house. We were going to go out that night. His ex showed up, who has never been nominated for Mother of the Year, with 4 kids, only one of which he knew. It was a little guy. She brought nothing with him. No food, juice cups, anything like that. And she took off. Now, 5 minutes later, of course, the youngest one is hungry. The little guy. Now, at this point in my life, I would not even know what to look for going to the store to buy baby formula. So I stayed there with the kids when he ran to town. To town and back was about, 45 minutes back then. There's one thing I learned that day. It doesn't matter how much you try to play with him, how much you hold him, talk to him. If a baby is hungry, he will not stop crying. That's what I learned that day. So, good news though. The Trump administration is going to pull a whole bunch of people out of poverty. They're not actually going to do anything to better their situation. They're just going to redefine what poverty is. After 2 hours of reading, what I have basically found out is that they're going to go to something called chained CPI. They want to. In English, what chained CPI is, it means that cost of living increases, inflation, things like this, they're not really counted the way they should be. So it appears that a whole bunch of people came out of poverty when in reality they're in the exact same situation they were, they're just now not getting benefits. So it's a great way to not only give you a great false statistic for your campaign, but also, go ahead and kick the little guy who's in trouble. The way this would work right now, if you got a family of 4, I think $25,900 is poverty level. So with the adjustments, if you're making that, you're no longer getting benefits. More importantly, with the way our economy is actually going, if you make $26,000 a year, next year, because your wages won't go up, but cost of living will, you won't get help either. The money that you've paid in for these programs, you're not going to get back. Now, $25,900 is our current poverty level for that. However, if you ask the average American what you need to be out of poverty with a family of 4, they're going to tell you $55,000 a year, twice as much. 48% of Americans feel they cannot find a good job with decent wages. 42% cannot pay their credit card balance. 137 million are struggling to pay for health care, and 80% are living paycheck to paycheck. That is the actual state of the economy. I know there's a whole bunch of news articles saying that the economy is doing great, and it is for those people at the top. For everybody else, not so much. For 80% of Americans. I read something saying that most Americans could not handle a $400 emergency. So that's where we're really at. And rather than actually attempting to solve these problems, we're just going to redefine it. Going to cook the books like some con man who found a way to run a casino out of business. See, the problem with looking at the top is that they're not the important ones. And I don't mean that in the philosophical sense of you judge a country by how it treats its worst off. I mean that in the sense of those at the bottom shape a lot of things. A lot of things. Babies don't stop crying when they're hungry. What are they going to do? Probably won't be legal, whatever it is. And can you blame them? I mean, really? That baby's not going to stop crying. You have to find a way to feed him. Armed robbery? Dealing drugs? What? I'm not sure that I can really fault it either. I understand it's not right, but I dealt with it for 45 minutes and remember it all this time later. These programs, because of the way our economy is, because our capitalist class is not acting like capitalists, they're not actually investing and creating jobs, although we constantly call them job creators. These benefit programs, entitlement programs, as people sometimes like to call them, that's just crime insurance at this point. Because if you get rid of them, you're going to see an uptick in crime. You're going to have to. They have to find a way to feed that crying baby. Maybe it would be better if we didn't cook the books and we actually took some steps to try to fix the fact that 80% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. That might be a better starting point than just trying to come up with a fake statistic for your campaign. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good night.